10:20 means it's 4:20 somewhere. If you got one, spark up. All right, back to the audiobook. Been slacking. I believe this is part 13. Could be mistaken. Let me check. I want to say part 13. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I did 12. And then I did a few other things. Yeah. So this is part 13. George Carlin, When Will Jesus Bring the Pork Chops audiobook. Let's get it.
I don't often talk about my own experiences. It's not my style. But I had a recent incident in traffic that I'd like to tell you about. And before I begin, there are a couple of things you ought to know about me. I drive kind of recklessly, I take a lot of chances, I never maintain my vehicles, and I don't believe in traffic laws. And so,
I don't drive as recklessly as I used to. I used to be one of those who would weave in and out. But I still fuck drive. Speed limits, I believe, are suggestions. If I'm on a freeway, I'm doing no less than 70. I don't care if the speed limit's 50, 55. And if the speed limit's 70, then I'm probably doing about 90. So yeah, I can get behind this sentiment here.
because of these practices, I tend to have what a picky person would probably refer to as a lot of traffic accidents. And wouldn't you know, last week I ran over a sheep. Or possibly I ran over a small man wearing a sheepskin coat. I'm not sure, really, because I didn't stop. That's another rule of mine. I never stop when I have a traffic accident. Do you? No, you can't. Who has time? Not me. If I hit something or I run somebody over, I keep moving, especially if I've injured someone. I refuse to involve myself in other people's injuries. I'm not a doctor. I've had no medical training. I'm just another guy out driving around looking for a little fun, and I can't be stopping for everything. Let's be logical. If you stop at the scene of the accident, all you do is add to the confusion. These people you ran over have enough troubles of their own without you stopping and making things worse. They've just been involved in a major traffic accident. The last thing they need is for you to stop, get out of your car, go over to the wreckage, and start bothering them with stupid questions. Are you hurt? Well, of course they're hurt. Look at all the blood. You just hit them with 1.5 tons of steel. Of course they're hurt. Leave these people alone. Haven't you done enough? For once in your life, do the decent thing. Don't get involved. Look at it this way. It's none of your business in the first place. The whole thing took place outside of your car. Legally speaking, these people were not even on your property at the time you ran them over. They were standing in the street that is city property. You are not responsible. If they don't like it, let them sue the mayor. And besides, the whole thing is over now. It happened back there, behind you. For God's sake, stop living in the past. Do yourself a favor, count your blessings, be glad it wasn't you.
As funny as this is, and like I said, I agree with, fuck the traffic laws. Don't do that. Don't try this at home. If you get caught, you going to jail for a very long time. That plus it's kind of fucked up. I had got rear-ended by a drunk chick not too long ago. When she came out of shock and realized, oh shit, yeah, I just hit somebody and I'm drunk, she tried to leave. Long story, but yeah.
As it is, there's probably a substantial dent in your fender. So be satisfied, my friend. You got off easy. And I'll give you a practical reason not to stop. If you do stop, sooner or later the police are going to show up. Is that what you want? Waste even more of your time standing around with a bunch of worthless civil servants, filling out forms, answering a lot of foolish questions, lying to the authorities? And didn't anyone else see this accident? Are you the only one who can provide information? Surely the people you ran over caught a glimpse of it at the last moment. So let them tell the police what happened. They were a lot closer to it than you were. There's no sense in having two conflicting stories floating around about the same dumbass traffic accident. Things are bad enough. People are dead, families have been destroyed. Time to get moving. Chances are you're late for dinner as it is. Now, folks, there are two sides to this. Helping people by leaving them alone when they're injured is one thing. That's my altruistic side. People need to be self-reliant, and I want to do what I can to foster that. But it's often hard for me to drive away from a nice, fiery accident scene, because I have a self-indulgent side too, and that needs to be honored. And so, on the other hand, if I'm out driving, enjoying a lovely day, and I see a traffic accident, just see a traffic accident, one that I'm not involved in, I stop immediately. I want to get a good look at what's going on. I enjoy that sort of thing. If people are injured, I want to take a look. I am Curious George. Of course, the police don't like that. They say you're rubbernecking and blocking traffic. I say, never mind that rubbernecking shit. I want to take a look. My philosophy? I'm never too busy that I can't stop to enjoy someone else's suffering. I'm looking for a little entertainment. To me, traffic accidents are one more form of entertainment. You want to hear my dream accident? 2 buses and a chicken truck getting hit by a circus train in front of a flea market. Entertainment. I'm looking for an antique lamp sticking out of a clown's ass. If I'm going to take the time to stop, I expect a couple of fucking laughs. And if the traffic situation is such that I can't quite see what's going on, can't get a good enough look, I'm not the least bit shy about asking the police to bring the bodies over a little closer to the car. Pardon me, officer. Would you fellows mind dragging that twisted-looking chap over here a little closer to the car, please? My wife has never seen anyone shaped quite like that. Look at that, Sugar Lips. Those are his testicles hanging from the rearview mirror. Thank you, officer. That will be all now. You can throw him back on the pile. We'll be moving along. And off we go, out onto the highway, looking for a little fun. Perhaps a flatbed truck filled with human cadavers will explode in front of a Star Trek reunion. One can only dream and hope.
One thing I'm surprised about, because he said the chicken truck. I'm surprised he didn't mention nothing about just the feathers all over the place.
Here's a letter I received in the mail recently. Dear friend, your name has been provided to us because we have discovered that in spite of America's recent economic problems, you may still have a few dollars tucked away that you're saving for a future financial emergency. Well, that emergency is here. We're hoping you will be sympathetic to our effort and express it with your generosity. Stated quite simply, we're raising money to help the rich and powerful. These hard-driving people continue to require large amounts of money, and most of them are far too busy to attend to this sort of direct appeal for themselves, so we are here to help. The rich and powerful need your financial support in order to increase their wealth and power so they can exercise even greater influence over national events and, of course, over your lives. Remember, these people are small in number and therefore inadequately represented in our system of proportional government. They consequently lack influence and suffer the fate of many minorities, that is, being ignored by the very government they have helped elect. It is for these reasons they have decided to band together to better present their ideas and especially to expand their influence with elected officials. But first, they need your help. They need money. In the first stage, your money is needed for basics: stationery, office supplies, postage, phones, and rent, first month, last month, security deposit. The rich and powerful need to set up a headquarters so they can start really raising money in order to live properly. But once they reach that level, that doesn't mean your job is done. Not at all. In fact, once things are running smoothly, there'll be a continuing and even greater need for more and more of your money in order to provide all of the expensive clothing.
It's one thing you gotta love about our political system. Just the regular people who send money to their favorite politicians. Only to get fucked by them when they get elected. That's literally paying to fuck yourself.
Imported cars, fine jewelry, gourmet foods, and exotic pets that these people require. That's when your dollars will really count, helping provide the lifestyle to which the rich and powerful are not only accustomed, but entitled. In addition to these considerable personal expenses, there will of course be a need for large amounts of money to persuade and influence.
Oh shit. I just realized I pulled something out. Sorry about that. Forgot I had something in the oven.
The many politicians and government officials who, after all, have financial obligations of their own. Most of these dedicated public servants are underpaid and must find ways of supplementing their income without taking time off from work. Your money, funneled through the rich and powerful, can go a long way toward solving their financial problems, and you will have the satisfaction of knowing you have helped advance the selfless agenda the rich and powerful have laid out in their effort to improve our country. Can we count on you? Will you help? Will you give yourself the opportunity to say you helped the rich and powerful when they really needed it? Do it now. Do it for yourself and do it for your children. Sit down and write out a check for a substantial amount, even more than you can afford. Make it payable to the Fund for the Rich and Powerful. You'll take satisfaction knowing you've done your part. And you'll be secure in the knowledge that whenever you have a problem, the rich and powerful will always be there to help. Sincerely, Estabrook Winslow, somewhere offshore. P.S. Your canceled check is your receipt. Bob calling. Bob dials a number. Hello? Hi, is this Don? Yeah? Hi, Don, this is Bob. Oh, hi, Bob. Hi. Well, I guess I'll let you go now. Bye. Okay, bye. Bob dials again. Hello? Hi, is this Carl? Yes? This is Bob. Oh, hi, Bob. Hi. Well, you're probably a busy guy. I'll let you go. Bye. Bye. Bob dials again. Hello? Hello, Tom? Yes? Who's this? Bob. Hi, Bob. What's going on? Not much. How about you? Same old, same old. Great. Well, I gotta go. I got a bunch of calls to make. Okay. Bye. Bob opens his phone book and makes a list of more people he wants to bond with. His phone rings. Hello? Hi, is this Bob? Yes. This is Steve. Oh, hi, Steve. How are you? Well, that's the reason I'm calling. Oh? Yes, I'm doing fine. So I thought I'd let you know that and maybe save you a call. Well, that's mighty thoughtful of you. Thanks. That's okay. Well, that's it. I guess we'll talk tomorrow. You got a deal. Bye. Bye. Bob scratches Steve's name from his list of calls and reaches for the receiver. So much still to do. Remember, kids, Mr. Policeman is your friend. Always cooperate with him. Mr. Policeman wants to help you, so you must help Mr. Policeman. Don't forget, if you refuse to cooperate, Mr. Policeman will beat you to death, especially if you're not white. I'm not a person who thinks he can have it all, but I certainly feel that with a bit of effort and guile, I should be able to have more than my share. You know, it would be fun to have a set of twins and name them Dumbo and Goofy, and then just sit back and see how their personalities develop. I bet they'd really enjoy going to school. I'd like to point out that during the 20th century, white, God-fearing, predominantly Christian Europe produced Lenin, Stalin, Franco, Hitler, and Mussolini. Next time you're in an elevator, blow your nose real loud into your bare hands and then ask someone if they have a Kleenex. Or blow...
Hey, you do that shit in Australia, they will fucking arrest you. In 2021 right now, man actually has an arrest warrant. Well, one for leaving his house, but yeah, that's why they would normally just fine you. But because he sneezed in an elevator, and well, he didn't cover the sneeze, so yeah, he has an arrest warrant out for his arrest. Crazy world we live in.
your nose into a Kleenex, open it up and stare at the stuff and say, Wow, look at this. It's all green and yellow. Then show it to the other people. I guarantee you won't pass many floors before you have the elevator all to yourself. I've never seen a homeless guy with a bottle of Gatorade. One great thing about getting old is that you can get out of all kinds of social obligations simply by saying you're too tired. You know who you have to admire? A Catholic hitman who blesses himself just before he strangles someone. I've noticed that a Jew will sometimes use a little paperclip to hold on his yarmulke. Shouldn't that be God's responsibility? I mean, you did your part, you put the thing on. Shouldn't it be God's job to keep it there? Or why don't Jews just wear larger yarmulkes that grip the head better? Maybe with an elastic strap that could go under the chin. By the way, I know a hip-hop Jew who wears his yarmulke backwards. It's hard to detect, but I think it looks great. Suppose you tried to fuck a woman who had 10 personalities, and 9 of them said okay, but one of them resisted and tried to fight you off. Would that still be rape? Where do we go from here? Who says we're here? Because of mad cow disease, they're now going to leave certain cow parts out of hamburger meat, including the skull. Well, I don't know about you folks, but I can't imagine enjoying a hamburger that doesn't have at least a hint of cow skull in it. I was looking in the mirror the other day and I realized I haven't changed much since I was in my 20s. The only difference is I look a whole lot older now. Here's a safety tip from the fire department. Kitchen grease fires can be quickly and safely extinguished by dousing them with a mixture of benzene and lighter fluid. Apply quickly and stand clear. True fact. More children in the United States are molested each year than wear braces. I'd like to know the suicide rate among people who call into radio psychologists and actually follow the advice they get. I have no regrets in life, although I am kind of sorry I never got to beat a man to death while wearing a tuxedo. There's a message window that comes up on my computer screen whenever I type in a command the computer doesn't like. It says, "Fuck you, I don't do that." When people use the phrase "call it quits," why do they use the plural? It would make more sense to say, "I'm going to call it quit." I recently witnessed something I'll never forget. An eclipse.
Never thought of that. Why do you pluralize the quit and call it quits? Never thought of that till now.
Of the Earth. But because it was an eclipse of the Earth, there was no place to look. So I looked at the Earth. And as I did, the Earth got very dark. But the period of darkness was brief because of how close we are to the Earth. Remember, kids, never look directly at an eclipse. Always get someone else to tell you about it. The National Rifle Association reminds its members never fire a gun at your own body unless you're trying to seriously injure yourself. As part of those displays that honor rock stars in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think they should show the amount of money each artist spent on drugs year by year. Also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to list which drugs the artists were taking while recording particular songs and albums, just so we'd all know. True fact. In 1733, the Russian army had a treatment for soldiers who suffered severe homesickness. At the first sign of the condition, they buried the soldier alive. That's good. I like people who go right to the heart of a problem. Do you have any perfectly good possessions you don't need? Send them to Ill Will Industries, where our completely healthy and able-bodied employees earn money by breaking things and rendering them useless. Call Ill Will. Help those who are already doing fine. I'm in favor of anything that destabilizes the Republic. Regarding the Menendez brothers, my opinion is that you can rarely get two kids to agree to kill their parents unless the parents really deserve it. True fact. Purina now has a cat food made especially for cats who live indoors. Indoor cat food for indoor cats. Meanwhile, I'm sure you're aware that some human beings have...
never understood that they have indoor cat food and outdoor cat food. I wonder what's the difference.
No food at all. The worst thing about email is that you can't interrupt the other person. You have to read the whole fucking thing and then email them back, pointing out all their mistakes and faulty assumptions. It's frustrating and it's time consuming. God bless phone calls. I cannot understand a grown man whose name is Fuzzy and who actually allows people to call him that. Do these guys really introduce themselves that way? Hi, I'm Fuzzy. If some guy said that to me, I'd say to him, well, you don't look very fuzzy to me. If you vote once, you're considered a good citizen. If you vote twice, you face 4 years in jail. In this country, alcohol is hardly ever seen as a drug problem. Instead, we think of it as more of a driving problem. Life is simple. Your happiness will be based completely on luck and genetics. Everything comes down to luck and genetics. And when you think about it, even your genetics is luck. Seems as though I never get to do the foxtrot anymore. What's going on with these people who tell you to have a safe trip? I would never tell a person that, because if they died, it would really feel creepy. If I had been in charge of reorganizing the government's security agencies into a homeland defense organization, I would have divided the responsibilities into 2 agencies. The Bureau of What the Fuck Was That? And the Department of What the Fuck Are We Gonna Do Now?
That was might as well go.
Don't you get tired of this simple-minded Laura Bush nonsense about children reading, or reading to children, or teaching children to read, or reading to children about teaching, or whatever the fuck it is? What is it with these Bush women? His mother, the big silver douchebag, was into the same sort of nonsense. These women should not be encouraging children to read. They should be encouraging children to question what they read. Content is far more important than the mere act of sitting with your mother and dragging your eyes across text. By the way, I noticed that apparently the idea of teaching children to read didn't work when Barbara tried it on George.
Alright, that's close enough. We'll call it good from there. Damn, that was... The car bit, I'm pretty sure I've reacted to a bit similar to that. But overall, yeah, always good for some laughs. Today was just a long day. I had to get a stupid 19 test, which came back negative. Alright. If y'all, feel free to leave some suggestions in the comments. I know I gotta go back. There's a whole bunch I gotta check out. Other than that, this was part 13 of When Will Jesus Bring the Pork Chops audiobook by George Carlin. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night. Stay blazing.